For years, the EV world has revolved around one name: Tesla. They set the standard, built the infrastructure, and for a long time, it felt like everyone else was just playing catch-up. The story we were all told was that the future of electric cars would be a gradual improvement, a little more range, slightly faster charging. We believed the path forward was paved by Tesla, a slow and steady march they defined. But what if that story was missing a chapter? What if the race isn't about small, incremental upgrades anymore? What if another company just decided to skip ahead to the finish line? In early 2026, BYD, a name once known for budget-friendly cars, unveiled a set of goals that sent shockwaves through the auto industry. This isn't just an update, it's a proposed reset. They call it the second-generation Blade battery, and its ambitions don't just change the rules, they could flip the entire board. To really get how big of a deal this is, we have to respect the world Tesla built. For over a decade, Tesla was the EV space. Their dominance was built on three key advantages that no other company could seem to touch. First, and most importantly, was their battery technology. Tesla mastered high-performance nickel-based batteries. Their NCA and NCM chemistries gave buyers what they craved most: range. They created cars that could go farther than anything else, creating a tech moat that seemed impossible to cross. They defined performance and cemented the idea that premium EVs needed expensive nickel-heavy batteries. The second advantage was the supercharger network. Tesla didn't wait for anyone else to build the charging infrastructure. They did it themselves. It was fast, reliable, and for a long time, exclusive. This network solved the biggest fear for many buyers: getting stranded. It made road tripping an EV a reality, but only if you were in a Tesla. And the third advantage was the brand that grew out of the first two. Tesla became synonymous with speed, innovation, and the future. They were the Apple of cars, a high-tech product that commanded a high price. Buying a Tesla was a statement. While others sold functional electric cars, Tesla sold aspiration. For years, this combination looked unbeatable. Competitors were stuck playing Tesla's game, chasing their battery specs and trying to build brands that could compete. The consensus was that someone might catch them, but it would take years. However, even with Tesla's success, the fundamental problems of EVs remained for most people. Range anxiety was still a real concern, especially in the cold. Charging times were a pain compared to a 5-minute gas station stop. And most importantly, the cost of a long-range EV was just too high for most of the world, thanks to the expensive nickel and cobalt in the batteries. The world was waiting for a breakthrough. We just didn't expect it to come from Tesla's biggest rival. What BYD revealed wasn't just a plan for a new battery. It was a completely different way of thinking about what powers an EV. The second-generation Blade battery, or Blade 2.0, represents a strategic masterstroke. Instead of trying to beat Tesla with expensive nickel, BYD decided to change the game. They took a chemistry that was seen as the budget option and laid out a plan to turn it into a world beater. The story starts with the first-generation Blade battery, which was already a huge success. It used lithium iron phosphate, or LFP, chemistry. LFP was known for being super safe, durable, and not needing controversial materials like cobalt. Its weakness? Lower energy density, which meant less range. It was the sensible choice, not the high-performance one. With Blade 2.0, BYD announced it's evolving the chemistry. While some regulatory filings still list the new packs as LFP, BYD and industry analysts have pointed to a shift toward lithium manganese iron phosphate, or LMFP. The secret ingredient is manganese. By adding it to the LFP structure, BYD claims it can significantly raise the battery's voltage from around 3.2 volts to a target of 3.8 volts, much closer to Tesla's high-performance cells. More voltage means more power and, crucially, more energy density. This one change, if successfully mass-produced, would be huge. It could let BYD keep all the good parts of LFP, the safety, long life, and low cost, while dramatically boosting its performance. But that's only half the story. The other half of the battery, the anode, is reportedly getting an equally radical upgrade to a silicon-carbon composite. Silicon is a holy grail for battery engineers. It can hold way more energy than the graphite used in most batteries, which means more capacity and much faster charging. The problem? Silicon swells and cracks when you use it, destroying the battery. It's a fatal flaw. BYD claims its engineers have developed a nano coating to stabilize the silicon particles, allowing them to work without breaking down. If this technology holds up in millions of cars, it could solve one of the biggest hurdles to ultra-fast charging. So what happens when you combine this targeted LMFP cathode with a stabilized silicon carbon anode? You get a spec sheet that sounds like science fiction. While the first blade battery had a cell energy density around 150 watt-hours per kilogram, BYD is aiming for 190 to 210 watt-hours per kilogram for the new generation. That's a massive improvement. To put that in perspective, this would bring BYD's safe and cheap chemistry into the same neighborhood as some of Tesla's premium nickel-based cells, which can range from 244 to over 260 watt-hours per kilogram. While the energy density gap isn't completely erased, this move could seriously challenge Tesla's long-held range advantage. This is the core of BYD's ambition, creating a no-compromise battery that aims for the range of nickel, the safety of LFP, and a cost that neither can match. For all the talk of range, the most jaw-dropping part of BYD's plan was its attack on charging times. The company unveiled what it calls Megawatt Flash Charging 2.0, an ecosystem designed to make charging anxiety a thing of the past. And the numbers they're aiming for are revolutionary. BYD is making some incredible claims. Charge from 10% to 70% in just 5 minutes. That's about how long it takes to get gas and a coffee. A nearly full charge from 10% to 97% is projected to take a mere 9 minutes. This isn't just faster, it's a different reality. It would transform EV ownership from something that requires planning around 30-minute stops to something virtually identical to driving a gas car. To hit these numbers, BYD is showcasing chargers capable of delivering a mind-boggling 1.5 megawatts of power. For comparison, Tesla's V3 superchargers top out at 250 kilowatts. Their newer V4 hardware is designed for more, but BYD is targeting a power level that's multiple times faster than today's best. Now let's inject a dose of reality. These figures, the 5-minute charge, the 1.5 megawatt stations, are based on BYD's own demonstrations and future goals. As of mid-2026, this isn't a widespread public network. This is the dream they're selling. The battery is reportedly engineered to handle an incredible 8C charge rate, but deploying that reliably in the real world is a whole other challenge. Even more audacious is BYD's claim about cold weather performance, the classic weakness of LFP batteries. They assert that even at a frigid -30 degrees Celsius, charging the new Blade 2.0 from 20% to 97% will take only about 12 minutes. For anyone who's watched their charge speed crawl in the winter, that sounds almost too good to be true, and it hasn't been verified by independent testing on mass-market cars. And what about the network itself? Early talk of BYD deploying 20,000 of these 1.5 megawatt stations by the end of 2026 seems like an overstatement. Building out that many megawatt-class chargers so quickly would be a monumental task. It's more likely this number refers to a broader rollout of fast chargers, with the flagship megawatt stations appearing at key locations. But don't dismiss these claims as just marketing. The ambition is what matters. BYD has declared war on charge times. They've set a target so far beyond the current industry standard that it forces everyone to reevaluate what's possible. By setting the bar at 1.5 megawatts, BYD is shifting the conversation from who has the most chargers to who has the fastest. And they've positioned themselves as the king of speed, at least in ambition. BYD's Blade 2.0 strategy isn't just a technical flex, it's a direct, calculated assault on the 3 pillars of Tesla's empire. It's like BYD made a checklist of Tesla's advantages and engineered a specific solution for each one. Let's start with Pillar 1, Tesla's superior range. For years, the rule was simple. If you wanted the most range, you bought a Tesla. BYD is aiming to break that rule. The company has announced staggering range targets for its new premium models, with the Yangwang U7 sedan targeting 1,006 kilometers and the Denza Z9 GT aiming for 1,036 kilometers on a single charge. Yes, these are CLTC ratings from the Chinese testing cycle, which is known to be optimistic. But the psychological impact of crossing the 1,000-kilometer mark is undeniable. It sends a message that the performance crown no longer belongs exclusively to Tesla. When a so-called budget chemistry can deliver ranges that rival or exceed nickel batteries, Tesla's core tech advantage starts to look a lot less certain. Now for Pillar 2, the supercharger moat. This was Tesla's ultimate defense. BYD's strategy isn't to join the network, it's to make it look outdated. BYD's ambition with 1.5 megawatt charging is a quantum leap. The narrative that Tesla has the fastest charging is fundamentally challenged when a competitor is demonstrating tech that is, in theory, several times faster. Even if this network rolls out slowly, its existence redefines what fast means. It makes Tesla's current chargers look like last-gen tech. The moat, once wide and deep, suddenly has a bridge being built over it. Finally, Pillar 3, cost and brand. This is where Blade 2.0 could deliver the final blow. Tesla's brand is built on premium tech at a premium price. But what happens when that tech is no longer exclusive? According to BYD, the second-generation Blade battery is not only more powerful, but also cheaper to produce than the first. This builds on an existing cost advantage. A 2023 teardown by the bank UBS had already found that a comparable BYD car had a significant production cost advantage, largely due to BYD making almost everything in-house. Now, BYD is aiming to cut costs further on the car's most expensive component. Furthermore, the very chemistry BYD is targeting, LMFP, offers a huge supply chain advantage. Tesla and other automakers are in a global scramble for nickel and cobalt. The M in LMFP, manganese, is the fourth most abundant metal on Earth. It's cheap and available everywhere. By betting on manganese, BYD is insulating itself from the price shocks and bottlenecks that plague its competitors. And then there's longevity. LFP batteries are famous for their long life, and BYD is doubling down. While typical nickel-based batteries are often rated for 1,500 to 2,000 cycles, LFP chemistry often targets over 3,000, and BYD is aiming for 4,000 cycles with Blade 2.0. If a car has a 1,000-kilometer range, a 4,000-cycle life gives you a theoretical lifespan of 4 million kilometers. That's a lifetime battery. To signal its confidence, BYD has extended its battery warranty in Europe to a competitive 8 years or 250,000 kilometers. This changes the ownership math. A BYD doesn't just cost less to buy. It could last longer with less battery degradation. When you put it all together, Tesla's position looks a lot more challenging. BYD is on the verge of offering cars that can potentially match or beat Tesla on range, charge dramatically faster, cost less to produce, and last longer. The entire value proposition that Tesla spent a decade building is under attack. This threat from BYD isn't some distant possibility. The ground has already shifted. While the West was focused on Tesla, BYD was executing a plan for global domination. The sales numbers don't lie. According to preliminary reports for the full year of 2025, BYD sold approximately 2.25 million all-electric vehicles, BEVs. In that same period, Tesla's deliveries are estimated to be around 1.64 million. This means BYD didn't just catch up to Tesla in BEV sales, it blew past them, selling over 600,000 more cars. This wasn't a fluke. It's the result of BYD's sales volume exploding. If you include plug-in hybrids, BYD's total sales of new energy vehicles are projected to be well over 4 million for 2025. This massive scale gives BYD incredible manufacturing efficiency and market power. They aren't just an EV company, they're a manufacturing behemoth. For a long time, the argument was that BYD would win on volume with cheap cars, but Tesla would always own the lucrative high-end market. The premium segment was their fortress. The ambition of the second-generation Blade battery is the battering ram aimed at those fortress walls. With this new technology target, BYD can now aim to power its premium brands, Denza and Yangwang, with batteries that can go head-to-head with anything from Tesla, Porsche, or Lucid. Suddenly, BYD isn't just competing on price, it's competing on performance, range, and tech. The Yangwang U7 and Denza Z9 GT aren't budget cars. They are designed to be Tesla killers. They are proof that BYD's ambition is to take the whole kingdom. What we're witnessing is a classic pincer movement. BYD is squeezing Tesla from both ends. From the bottom, its affordable models are capturing the mass market. From the top, its new premium models, armed with the promise of Blade 2.0, are attacking Tesla's most profitable segment. This is why the Blade 2.0 announcement is so much more than a press release. BYD already had the manufacturing scale and sales volume. Now, it has the disruptive technology goals to secure a position at the top. The market has already started moving, and Blade 2.0 is the catalyst that could turn the flow of customers towards BYD into a tidal wave. So, is the EV race truly over? If the race was about who could build the most exciting, premium, long-range EV, then Tesla was the undisputed champion for a decade. They dragged the whole auto industry into the electric age. But maybe that race is finished. BYD's strategy with Blade 2.0 suggests a new race has begun. It's not just about breaking 300 miles of range anymore. BYD's approach is an attempt to solve the three most stubborn barriers to mass EV adoption, all at once. The barrier of range, with a target of over 1,000 kilometers. The barrier of charging, with the ambition of a 5-minute refuel. And the barrier of cost, with a safer, more durable chemistry that's fundamentally cheaper. When these barriers fall, the definition of a good electric car changes. It's no longer a niche premium product. It becomes a tool for the masses. In this new race, the winner isn't the one with the most visionary CEO or the sleekest design. The winner is the one who can build the most reliable, convenient, and affordable product at an unimaginable scale. The race for tech bragging rights may be giving way to a brutal battle of manufacturing, supply chain, and pure economic might. And in that battle, BYD, with its colossal scale and integrated empire, appears to have a massive head start. Tesla is no longer the lone hero of the EV story. They are now the powerful incumbent, facing a challenger with a revolutionary weapon. The era of undisputed Tesla dominance is over. The real question is what comes next. Has BYD truly created a lead that can't be overcome? Or will Tesla innovate its way back to the top? Let me know what you think down in the comments. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve on the future of electric vehicles, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.